Dear listeners, last week we explored the billion-dollar question. Why do some startups fail despite the best of odds? One of the major reasons is because they lack a strong why. Catch up with our analysis. Today we'll see how exactly this lack of why leads to failure. Read on. Welcome back to Revolution Read On, a daily podcast where we break down one story from the world of business and finance. At the heart of any startup or any company lies a burning problem that needs to be solved, a problem that the company breathes day in and day out, a problem that is much bigger than the individuals of the company. It is this problem, this why, that helps startups work with laser sharp focus. It is this why that helps them create consumer centric solutions. A strong why will lead to a great product, and a great product is worth 1,000 marketing campaigns. It sells. Now, when companies don't have a strong why, they often lose focus and turn to gimmicks or manipulations to sell. The easy way to sell: promise your customers better price, better quality, better features, better everything. Now, some of these tactics may work well in the short term, maybe also in the long term for very few companies. However, they are not a formula for long term success. Let's look at some tactics that companies use to sell their products and why they are flawed. First, price play. Let's assume two companies are selling the same product with the same features and the same pitch. Which product would you choose? The cheaper one, right? This consumer psychology is what a lot of startups target to get revenue and traction fast. Result: low margins and high costs. No wonder a lot of startups are loss making. Since most startups have raised VC money, they can afford to burn this cash to show fast growth. Yes, growth, not profits. To get profits, they might have to raise prices. Raise prices, that's where things go wrong. Customers who were only buying the product or service because it was cheap no longer remain customers. Driving profitability becomes difficult. This is exactly what happened with a lot of bike rental platforms like Ofo and Vogo. Vogo offered bikes for super cheap, 3 rupees a kilometer. They thought they could get people into the habit of renting Vogos, but the model was unsustainable. It was later acquired by another startup, Chalo. The same story is now playing out with Bounce. It offered bike rentals at 5 rupees a kilometer, but it soon identified the pitfalls of its model and has now pivoted towards EV manufacturing. So, is this pricing strategy always wrong? Nope. A startup that followed the same pricing strategy and managed to be successful? Uber. Uber was super cheap when it started out. It eventually raised prices and continues to do so, but we still use Uber. Why? Because Uber has a strong why. Uber was motivated to make mobility accessible. It came up with a strong infrastructure to make this possible. It made its app super easy to use. It offered convenience, something that users would pay more for, and that's why it is still around. Second, novelty instead of innovation. Many companies confuse innovation with novelty. Novelty is simply being new, and incremental change to an existing product or service is novelty. True innovation, on the other hand, is bringing a change in the entire industry. Let's consider two companies. Boat took the novelty path, and Apple took the innovation path. Boat adopted cool marketing strategies to promote its super new and relatively different products. This made it the leader in India's wearables market. But it is now losing market share. Why? You see, new players can copy Boat's features. With just one extra feature, one new feature or novelty, they can get early traction. Apple, on the other hand, created true innovation. With iPod and iTunes, Apple completely changed the face of the music industry for the world. It could truly innovate because it had a strong why. It wanted to challenge the status quo. It wanted to think different. Users relate to this why and stick to the brand. Result: Apple repeat rate 90%, Boat repeat rate 30%. There are several other strategies that brands use to sell when their why isn't clear. Offering cashbacks or discounts, celebrity promotions, betting on FOMO, and whatnot. The key takeaway is that the first thing a startup needs to do is figure out their why. Hacks can only take you so far. It is this why that creates brand loyalty. It is this why that will bring your users back to you even when your competitor launches a better product. And it is such loyal customers that create the biggest companies in the world. Which startups do you think have a very strong why? Thank you for listening to this episode. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, read on.